Welcome to Smashing UK's Top 10 Monster Films. For this list we are including any genre of monster films, whether it be horror, fantasy, sci-fi, comedy or drama. Number 10. Shaun of the Dead. The ultimate British black comedy, Shaun of the Dead cleverly balances horror, romance and witty satire, creating one of the greatest zombie films since Dawn of the Dead. With clever references to George A. Romero's films, Edgar Wright's apocalyptic tale is engaging and extremely well made. One of the greatest homages to the horror genre, Shaun of the Dead boasts significant symbolism and a depth that makes it the masterpiece it is. Number 9. The Thing. John Carpenter's remake of Christian Nyby's 1950s horror sci-fi is a tense and grim tale ripe with compelling tension and remarkable special effects. The Thing follows a group of scientists in the Antarctic as they are confronted by a shape-shifting alien, one of the most vividly gruesome monster films to hit the screen. The Thing is a relentless masterpiece full of suspense and outright terror.
Retreating! What is it?
Number 8. Godzilla.
Godzilla, king of the monsters, alive, surging up from the depths of the sea on a tidal wave of terror.
Whilst Gareth Edwards' recent remake is a worthy instalment that restored the originality to the franchise, we decided to go with the much-loved Japanese classic that brought about one of the greatest film monsters to have ever been devised. By using clever storytelling and the overuse of the cheesy rubber suit, Godzilla became the classic it is today that spawned an entire franchise including multiple film crossovers. Number 7. Frankenstein.
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Oh, in the name of God! Now I know what it feels like to be God!
Arguably the most recognisable film monster around, Frankenstein tells the story of an obsessed scientist who assembles a living monster from the body parts of corpses. Still unnerving to this day, Frankenstein's psychological inquiries remain both striking and potent, and feature Boris Karloff as the legendary and frightening monster. The original monster movie remains absolutely essential.
No, you're hurting me! No!
Number 6. An American Werewolf in London.
You saw
John Landis's horror comedy is both terrifying and funny in almost equal measure. An American Werewolf in London introduced the world to Rick Baker's astounding makeup effects during the iconic transformation scene, a spectacular film that attempted to rework the familiar tale by tackling the genre and turning a werewolf horror premise into a comedy, and the result is a model of directional clarity from Landis. Number 5. Pan's Labyrinth.
Echo. Hola. Hola.
¿Sois vos?
¿Sois vos? Habéis regresado. No os asustéis, os lo ruego.
Guillermo del Toro's dark fantasy flick is by far one of the greatest films to have come out of the Spanish film industry. Set in the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War, Pan's Labyrinth follows the strange journeys of an imaginative young girl who believes to be a mythical princess of an underground kingdom. With the horrors of both reality and fantasy blended together in an extraordinary fable, Pan's Labyrinth is a story of tyranny and the timeless struggle between good and evil. Number 4, King Kong. The ultimate monster movie, King Kong is unrivaled in its sheer cinematic quality. 81 years on and King Kong still has a great claim to being the 8th wonder of the world and acts as an immortal tribute to the Hollywood dream. The film that thrilled audiences around the world upon release, King Kong is a product of a number of vivid imaginations. Number 3, Jaws. Spielberg's 1970s monster movie classic Jaws is a compelling and well-crafted horror that has a judicious sense of terror that ensures the film remains a benchmark in the art of delivering modern blockbusters. Spielberg's directional expertise shines as he perfectly manipulates the mood of the film, aided by John Williams' perfect score. Number 2, Jurassic Park. An enthralling monster film and one of the best of its kind, Jurassic Park is a successful science fiction adventure film that features some of the most visually stunning state-of-the-art special effects and animatronics ever seen on film. Jurassic Park is a spectacle rife with sustained awe and terror, a true masterpiece. Before we reveal our number 1 film, here are some honourable mentions that didn't quite cut the list. Evil Dead 2.
Swallow this.
The Fly.
You're a relic. Yes, you are. You can't deny it.
Gremlins. The Lost Boys.
Join us. Never.
Predator. Number 1, Alien. Whilst the sequel equally deserves this spot, we decided to go with the predecessor due to the more horrific atmosphere that surrounds it. Ridley Scott's iconic 1970s classic blends science fiction, terror, and bleak poetry in order to create a flawless horror film. The monster present in this film is the iconic and deadly xenomorph that boards the Nostromo and begins to terrorise and kill off the crew. Alien remains a benchmark of extraterrestrial horror and is nothing short of a masterpiece. Thank you for watching. Any monster films we forgot to mention? Leave your opinions in the comments below.